Is it working?
I don't know. There's a blue bar going across, setting up meeting for Facebook Live. So we'll see. Oh, it's all very exciting, isn't it? Redirecting to Facebook.
Now streaming live on Facebook.
Woo! Oh, we're in it. I can see it. How very exciting. So, hello, this is exciting. I am here with Helen from Create Art School. Ursula Kelly is saying hello. So I take it that it's working, Ursula, if you're saying hello. Ursula's saying it's working. And Joe is watching. Andrew is watching. People are watching. Yay! Hello. I suppose I'll do a little bit about me and then I'll get you to introduce yourself. So thank you people that are watching this now or in the replay. We're Zooming this live from Zoom to the Blue Stocking Society. I'm Debbie, also known as debbiedooodah. We've run the Blue Stocking Society for, I think about 6 or 7 years now. Oh my God. And I'm a business coach and I help coaches build freedom through business success. That's kind of what I'm passionate about. Helen, do you want to tell us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. I'm Helen. I run Create Art School and I help people relax, unwind and unleash their creativity through creating beautiful art.
We can see some of that beautiful art behind you.
This is my amazing magnetic wall. I advise everyone to get one.
Oh my God. Okay, so maybe we need to put some links in the notes about how you get a magnetic wall. I need to get a magnetic wall because I've got some of my stuff stuck up with blue tack and sometimes it falls off mid Zoom call. It's kind of dramatic. So it's like a 70s BBC studio. So thank you very much for coming on. Like, first of all, your business used to be called Create WB for West Bridgeford. And that's what I was about to type when I put you up, but you've changed, you've rebranded.
I know. Well, I'm going through a rebrand at the minute. I have gone global basically through Corona, so it does have its upsides, and I have reached bigger audiences than I've ever done. So I decided it was the time to make the leap from little old WB to Create Art School because I'm reaching many more people now. So.
Yeah, and I suppose for people outside of Nottingham going, what's this WB all about?
Oh, exactly. We don't all know what WB is. So
we don't know. Were you making things up?
Yeah, exactly. Where is that?
Or just, you could say it's like Create Woolly Bananas or something. Yeah. I don't know. Like
yeah, exactly. So I'm now Create Art School. So I've grown into myself, as it were.
So because of the coronavirus, that's kind of expanded your business, and that's kind of what we're here to talk about, because we've worked together on and off in little bits and bobs over the time. And I remember at the start of the corona, you coming to me and saying, like, help me, I don't know, take payments online or build that, because you kind of launched something that we'll go into a minute. Kind of wanting to make that more streamlined. So I'm super excited. I know I don't want to detract from the coronavirus. People, it's been really difficult for a lot of people. People are grieving. You can't go and spend time with your family. The lady who bought our house has died at like 101. And it's really sad because not many people, she's been on this street the whole time and none of them can go to the funeral. But what they're doing is today at 5:10, everybody's going to stand on the street and the kind of hearse is going to drive down the road, which is kind of nice. But there's lots of things like that going on.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of businesses that haven't been able to pivot or do that stuff. But we need to celebrate the successes where we have them. And also, I think your story is really inspiring. And I know that we've got kind of over 1,300 women in the group. And I think if we can talk about the successes that you've had and how you've done that in your business, that might inspire other people to kind of think differently and look for these opportunities. So do you want to kind of give us an overview? What were you doing? Oh, hello. Good morning.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Go away. My burglar alarm, people. ringing me. They're supposed to ring me yesterday, but they're ringing me now.
Burglar alarm people, you're not being broken into.
No, just a fault. Anyway, it's on. Do not disturb. Go away.
Also, feel free to write comments and questions and stuff. I'm going to try and catch up with them as we go. So if you've got any questions for Helen as we go along, please pop them in the comments. So Helen, do you want to first of all tell us what your business was doing before Corona? So we've got a kind of sense of where you started from.
This space is my kind of little business world, really. I have up till March, I was seeing people coming in, and I was teaching classes from here, teaching art to kids, but mostly adults now. My market's mostly adults. So I was kind of, physically having people here teaching them. So that was kind of my world, and that was what my business was centered around. I'd sort of explored a little bit into doing some online courses, but that was when we worked together before, year and a bit ago, I think, when we were starting to look at that. But, life happens, and I'm a busy mum of 2, and it just kind of got shelved, and I thought I'll come back to it at some point. So weirdly, I'd got all the equipment and everything here, but I hadn't really used it. And then Corona happened, and I had to really make some extremely quick decisions about how I was going to keep going, because for me, in my head, it wasn't an option. I thought, I've built this, I've worked really hard, this is I've nearly done 3 years. I used to be a secondary school teacher. I thought, I'm not going back, I can't go back. For those of you who've done that area of work, I understand. So I thought, I've done my time there, I can't go back to that. I need to push on with my business. I've made it work around me and my family. So I had to think really quickly about how I was going to change. So that's kind of where I was up to, middle of March, thinking in a sort of rabbit in the headlights, blind panic, got to do something, don't know quite how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And that's me, really. I'm a bit between my teeth. I'm really determined. I'll just find a way. So, I started talking to my clients and saying, look, if we can do this, if we can carry this on, how, would you be up for it? And most of my clients are retired. Yeah. Quite a few are, I've got some younger people, but, most of them, the technology side was going to be a little bit daunting. But I said, look, shall we just do it and try it and see what it's like? And actually, most of them said, yeah, let's go for it. So within a week, I took a week off. And
you need a break.
Well, not off, a week off teaching, and I planned out how it was going to happen. And the following week, we launched online. So I teach my classes via Zoom now, and I do it in exactly the same format. So it's got that familiarity. The only difference is I can't give people pens and pencils and stuff. They have to get them themselves. Sure. But I give them all the resources that they need to download, so they sort of feel like they're supported in the lessons. So that's how we started. And I teach a lot of kids as well, so I wanted something for them. Mm-hmm. So I launched a TV channel with my daughters.
And had you ever considered launching, because that's so exciting, this idea, right, I'm going to launch a TV channel, we're going to go for it, was that, because I know that you'd thought about doing some learning online before. Where did this TV channel idea come from?
It came from my daughter, because we were I actually told her I was going to have to close, and it breaks my heart thinking about it, the howl that came out of her, little 6-year-old thinking Mummy's art school's going to close. I thought, okay, we're going to find a way. So I said to Poppy, let's just think about it. And then she was watching something on TV, a guy called Art Ninja, who we love. We were watching him, and I thought, well, do you know what, we could do this. It won't be so professional and clean cut and produced. Sure. But what I like about what we've done is we sit and we make everything in real time. Like a lot of TV art stuff, it's like chop, 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 really quick, just cut all these bits out, and it takes 4 hours.
It's like the Blue Peter, and they go, here's one we made earlier, and you're like, but how did I get from these pieces of paper? Yeah, exactly.
So I said, right, I'm going to make this with my girls sitting here with a camera. So that's how we've worked, and it's real life. It includes laughs, inappropriate comments, whinging, crying, fighting.
So they're not necessarily always
putting their fingers up. It's all good. Yeah.
But that's refreshing then, isn't it, that your children aren't totally well behaved and sitting there and like, oh mummy, I'm going to do the art now. Like, I think for parents, it's like, great, her kids are misbehaving, saying inappropriate things and are naughty. Like, we need a bit of reality, don't we? I think if things are too polished, just makes us feel like failures as parents.
Yeah, and I think I've had lots of lovely, amazing comments from people saying, you've given me an hour or two back, because my kids have just sat here and listened to you.
Yes.
Talking away and making with your daughter. And I know exactly what the speed I need to go at, because my daughter's sitting there making stuff with me.
Yeah.
So I know if I'm racing ahead, because I'm getting Poppy going, it's too fast, or people are commenting on the comments saying, slow down, or how do I do that bit, or and it's worked. So yeah, we've had nearly 3 months of that now. So it's been a big learning curve, but really, really good.
So thinking about these two sides of your business, so we've got the classes that you would ordinarily do in your beautiful studio that are now being done online.
Yeah.
Like, are they weekly, daily? How often are you doing these classes at the moment?
So I do 3 or 4 regular classes weekly now. Okay. And they were the same time, same slot, same duration.
Yeah.
But so they're kind of great. They're continuing, but I've met lots of new people through them, because everyone's at home, sitting there thinking, I want to do something. People have got time to do hobbies. Maybe they didn't. A certain group of people who my sort of target market, retired, that nothing's changed financially for them, so they can sit and they can afford to do what I offer, and actually it's quite sociable, because it's become a real sort of a highlight of the week for some of them, because they know that that's happening at the same time as they would have normally done it, and they can sort of virtually meet their friends from the class every week. And then I've got people joining from all over the place now. So
that's what I was going to ask. I was like, have those groups grown then? Because they obviously started off with the people who would have been in your group, and now they're expanding and they're getting bigger.
Yeah. So I've got friends of friends. I'm really conscious that I don't want to make them too big. I don't want to be like a mass, 100 people doing art at the same time, although that would be cool. But I feel very loyal to my customers who have supported me week in, week out through, before this and during this. I don't want to make it like a massive en masse art production machine. I want to keep it small, intimate, and we've got a kind of little WhatsApp group for each group that I run, so that
I was going to ask you about that. How do you keep that going?
So they can share their work and put it on there, and I can give them a bit of feedback, and they to be honest, they feedback on each other's work. It's so supportive.
Perfect.
And we've been running a drawing challenge every month, so everyone's got some way of sort of putting their skills into practice, or just keeping the hand in. And this month I didn't even run the drawing challenge. One of my groups sorted it out for me, because they were so inspired. So I just feel like it's got a ripple effect, really, this whole business, and it's just kind of reaching out to more people, helping more people get creative and inspired. So
And have you capped those classes, those 4 evening classes a week? Like, have you got a figure in mind of when the doors will close almost?
Yeah, so I've got about 12 to 15 in every group, which is more than I would be able to have in here, because I can only seat a few. But obviously I've got to make it sustainable.
Yeah.
So it's lovely. It's very sociable, and it kind of that kind of level of group is great. But I've been able to launch more courses because of it, because I'm I've got some certain restrictions on when I can work in this space because I'm a residential business.
Okay.
You know, I've got houses around me, so I can't run all hours all the time. So the online side of it has meant I can offer classes at different times of the day when I wouldn't normally be able to, and geographically there's no limit now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got people joining me from all over the country. I had someone from France the other day, which was so exciting. She's in her farmhouse in France, painting with me. It's just great.
I can hear the excitement in your voice of like what that has opened up to you. So have you been, you said that you're kind of thinking about doing different courses and stuff, just thinking about the adults. So you're kind of mapping out what that might look like for people.
Yeah, so I've kind of launched a new course last week, which was called Watercolours, the Basics.
Okay.
So I've launched to a whole new group of people who want to do watercolours, but they don't know how to start it. And there's so much out there. This is what I find. There's so much out there, so much free.
Yes.
YouTube. There's so much amazing stuff. But I think it's a bit daunting.
Yeah. But I think that a lot of people are struggling with that, thinking about offering stuff online. So I think that's a really good route for us to go down, because a lot of, you know, maybe people who do sport or yoga or art or some teaching element are finding that thing difficult of, well, how do I cut through the noise, because everybody's offering it for free anyway, and we need to charge for what we're doing, don't we? Because we've got to pay ourselves, we've got to put food on the table. And I think there was this real thing when Corona hit, that it was almost distasteful to charge. People felt this sense that, well, there's a pandemic happening, you know, people are literally dying, people are scared. If I launch something now and charge for it, that's not good. And so I think also even businesses have been falling into this trap of feeling like they've got to offer stuff for free. And what I loved about you, Helen, is that you didn't fall into that trap. You said straight away, well, there's a value to what I do, and then there's going to be a price. I get a sense from you that you're quite a resilient woman. You know, you looked at it, you found an opportunity, you went out there, you were brave, you created a TV channel, like all this stuff that lots of people struggle with, this idea of being visible. So I get this massive sense of your kind of bounce back ability and your resilience. Like, did you have that question about, should I be offering it for free? Was that something that you were contemplating at the beginning, like a lot of other businesses? Like, how did you get over that, I wonder?
I think I definitely went through the guilt of thinking, awful.
Us women, we put so much guilt anyway about motherhood, or not being mothers, or not looking after our mothers, or whatever. You know, we're guilt laden, aren't we, as women? So
and we take it all on. Everyone's problems, it becomes our own. But I feel that I've done a lot of work on mindset and money mindset recently. It kind of came at the right time for me that I was doing a course about money mindset this and so it kind of just, I don't know, everything fell into place that I thought, actually, I help people all the time, and just this awful situation, it's awful, don't get me wrong, I mean, it's just dreadful, and you know, if we could be out of it, I'd be a much happier person generally. But if you know, if I can help more people by doing what I do to a bigger audience, then that can only be a good thing.
Yes.
So I feel that there is value in what I do, and I feel like charging places a value on it. I think if you do something free, you lose it after a while. You know, you even if you pay a little bit, you know, you've invested something in it, and I think it gives it some worth. Yeah. Whereas I think if you just give stuff away for free, you know, like, you know, there's so much there, like Joe Wicks, you know, do that for a week. After that, you know, whatever. I
feel so bad. I've not done one Joe Wicks, and I feel like I'm like culturally inept because I've not jumped around to this Joe Wicks guy. I don't even know what he looks like or sounds like. I'm like in a bubble. But I get, I think I totally agree. I remember when I first started and I did a lot of skill swaps, and what I discovered was that people that I was swapping skills with weren't, integrating the things that we talked about in the sessions, because they didn't place a value on it either. And even if people pay a small amount, it means that they put more of themselves into it as well. So I think there's something that happens when people pay for something that they themselves then value it more. And we need to value what we do and what we offer and the skills that we've got. So I love the fact that you didn't fall into that trap of, oh shit, it's a pandemic, I've got to offer something.
And you know, it did for a tiny second cross my mind, like, I know what I could do. I could just go back to school and start teaching in a school again. And do you know what, if I'd stopped charging for stuff, then I probably would have thought about going down that route again, and then I wouldn't be doing this and helping all the people I'm helping. So you know, I just think there's decisions, big decisions to be made when you consider charging and not charging, because at the end of the day, you're again showing you're a resilient business, you're paying your tax. You know, so many people are being paid to not work, and as awful as that is, you know, as unempowering as it is, you know, I feel like I've got a duty to kind of keep going as much as I can, create as much revenue as I can, pay my taxes, because I'm helping the wider.
Oh, I love that. I love people that like paying their taxes. Like, well, I think the more
tax you pay, you're kind of showing that you've you know, done more, haven't you?
And also then we're contributing to the society, aren't we, that we're in. I remember I was I went to some networking event and it was full of financial people. I don't know how I stumbled into this place, and I said, oh, you know, my financial goals for next year, and a woman came up to me and said, well, if that's the case, you better work with me, because I'll help you pay less tax. And I was like, but I want to pay tax because it's I want to go to school and have an NHS and drive on paved roads and, you know, have all this stuff. And I just find it really odd that businesses don't want to pay tax. So pay tax, like, be part of the system. So sorry, that's my own like personal, come on, we're all part of it, in it together, aren't we? So thinking about all of that then, and the fact that you're growing and you're getting these new courses out there, like, I'm going to ask this question, but I think I know the answer. Is this something you're going to carry on with once the lockdown has gone and we can resume whatever normal looks like? And it might take a while to get to that point, but how are you feeling about kind of the future of your business, just thinking about the adult side of it, doing these courses?
So I'm definitely moving more into the adult market anyway. I as much as I'd love to teach the kids, I'm not sure how feasible that's going to be going forward, you know, health and safety and stuff, PPE and all that. I mean, I just don't know how that's going to look. So I'm definitely moving into the adult market, which is somewhere I'm very comfortable. I'm launching an amazing new course in a couple of weeks online. It's going to be completely online, so I'm not going to, it's not
colour one.
Yeah, so it's going to be my watercolour course that I've been teaching live to people. I'm going to do a slightly discounted version of that, so that people can just do it at home in their own time.
So it's an off the peg kind of product. Nice.
So it's going to be watercolour, the basics, you know, off the peg, as it were. So that's coming up, and that's going to lead to all sorts of other different courses coming out of that, because you know, I've experienced, I've got all the stuff. I'm just going to put it out there as courses. So, but I'm absolutely dead set. I'm going to keep my live courses going for as long, you know, as long as I have to do them online, I will. And then as soon as I can, I'll move them back in here, because it's very valuable to me. I love the community. I do miss. I suppose the downside of doing it online is I can't in real time go around and see what everyone's doing and give them help and feedback. I think that's the one kind of downside of doing it online, other than the kind of company, is just being able to give people help there and then, because it's quite hard to, you know, people holding things up to the camera and saying, what do you think about this bit? You know, I can give them a bit of help, but it's not quite the same as being there and being able to sort of pick up on, you know, how you can pick up on in body language about how someone's feeling about something they're doing. And that's the part I miss, because I am quite always sort of looking on my I'm videoing everything on my camera, and I'm kind of focusing on keeping everything in the camera angle. So and I'm always videoing my screen, so I can't necessarily see everyone in real time working. So I have to keep flicking back and forward and checking. So I suppose that side of it is the downside. So as soon as I can get people back in here, it'll be great. But I do think I'm going to keep an element of online classes going, because, as I say,
well, I was going to say, what about the lady in France? She'll be devastated. You know, she'll be like, but I've been enjoying this. So will there be something once a week for people that want to do it online?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep that going. And as I say, I've started running this course in the evening, which I normally wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, okay.
Because of my council restrictions, and I can reach that group, you know, easily now. Lots of people very stressed out in their jobs, and they come home and get to do watercolors for an hour or two.
Sounds gorgeous. I think I love it.
To leave their houses, you know, because it's there. It takes the pressure off having to get somewhere for a certain time. At least you just get home, put your pajamas on, you can get a glass of wine, and you can do watercolors at home.
I think it sounds glorious. The other thing I wanted to ask you, thinking about and circling back to that pricing, is did you keep your pricing the same as if I walked through the door and did it, or did you lower your pricing?
No, I kept it the same.
Yes, I'm so pleased to hear you say that, because the other thing that people have been saying is, well, because I'm doing it online, should I be lowering my prices? Yeah. And my answer is always, the value is still the same. You still bring all your expertise to the table. It doesn't detract from the message or whatever it is, or however you're working with people. And I think a lot of people feel like suddenly it has to be half price or something. So I love the fact that you kept your prices the same.
I kept it the same. I wrangled with it a little bit, because I thought, well, I'm not giving anyone any materials, you know, and I'm not giving them a cup of tea. And you know, all of that, and I'm not having to heat my studio. But then I thought, well, actually the time that I'm investing in this is probably equal in value, if not more.
Yeah, and the equipment you had to buy.
The administration side of it is a lot more. You know, I have to photograph everything that I produce, because I always show people what they're going to do. I always give them a template, I could give them examples. So all of that side of it takes a lot of planning, a lot of thinking, a lot of, you know, getting that all ready, uploading it onto the website, and then kind of following up on stuff afterwards. So people are constantly putting photos in the WhatsApp group and asking for my advice on it. And so it actually probably is taking me longer in time to run these classes than it was before. So that's how I've sort of justified it a little bit.
I love the fact that we still have to justify it though, and not just go, it's just what it is. There's still this wrangling in our head where we're like, well, this is equal to that, and if I take that bit off and I put that bit over there, and there is also just an element of it's just worth the same. Yeah People are having an experience, it's great. How have you marketed this? Like, thinking about people watching and thinking about like finding, because you found new audiences, you obviously had a good community of people that turned up regularly anyway, that you built a relationship with you. How have you been dealing with that? Like, what methods have you used to get the word out there?
Well, I've done lots of sort of I'm starting to do a lot more live sort of stuff. So I think people want to invest. If they want to invest in you, they need to see what you can do, and then you see if they'll get on with you. So I've been doing a bit more live stuff. I've been doing loads on Facebook. I mean, I always do loads on social media anyway, and put it all out there. And I think a lot of the people who I've attracted have been watching me for a while, you know?
The lurkers.
And they're like, oh, actually, and then I'm giving them the chance to do stuff with me, which they wouldn't have had before, because I only really run in the daytimes and the hours. So I think that's how I just keep consistent. I keep consistently putting stuff out there. So people know that I'm not just a flash in the pan kind of business. You know, I'm not just on a whim. I do this all the time, every day, to a really high standard. And people see that over time and think, oh, I really fancy doing that, but I just physically can't do it because I work or whatever. And actually now I'm giving people the chance to do it. I think that's where it's come, you know, it's got that sort of momentum behind it, because people are actually being given the chance and the time to do it. And that's my big philosophy. I think It's about giving yourself the time to do something and sit and say that 2 hours of my week is my art time, and that's what I'm going to do. And I think just having a set class to do, that's what's the power behind it. You just, if you sit and do it, you'll enjoy it. But we're all so busy normally that you don't give yourself that luxury of the time.
So just kind of showing up and being consistent and visible and doing those lives, and that's the thing. I love the lurkers as well, the people that are there on the edge, on the periphery, watching you for ages. Sometimes I get clients who are like, God, you gave me a business card 6 years ago and I've been following you since then, and now I've decided to work with you. And it's like, oh my God, like it's such a long stretch of time, isn't it? But I think some people need that time to decide now is the time, or to get to know you and stuff. And how are you taking the payments? Because I think people have found this idea interesting as well. People that maybe took payments, people paid when they came. Like, how are you dealing with that kind of?
Well, I've always done sort of bank transfers. I prefer that anyway, because I like to keep it all simple with my accounting and all of that. So there's a record all the time. But I've started to automate certain bits of the business via sort of Stripe and MemberSpace, which I find quite hard because I've never let go of that side of it. I've always kind of like to know, and now I'm just getting little payments coming in all the time. I'm like, I don't know where that's come from. Brilliant.
I love it. I love the little payments that come in. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is fun. Yeah, I go to my bank account and I'm like, oh, it's just money, it's arriving. It's great. It's great. I love the automation of the cash, but I can see that maybe there's that element of control of actually, because it's just happening then, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you only really know when there's a problem. Like if somebody pay, then you know, but otherwise it's just sort of happening in the background. Okay, so that's good. So that all that side. So tell us about this, the your Create TV. Is it called Create TV?
Yeah, it's Create TV. I mean, I'm kind of winding it up now because we're kind of going back to school and things are changing, but I'm and it's quite a big commitment actually, especially with my good daughters trying to present with them. But I'm going to relaunch something in the autumn, which is going to be along those lines, which is going to be an online art club, because I've reached a whole group of people outside of Nottingham with this Create TV, which they've all said, please carry on doing something. So I think
there's a need there.
Yeah, I might do a once a week, art extended drawing or painting or something, and they can kind of carry on with that. So that's to come. That's in the pipeline.
Okay, and are you going to kind of wind down the thing that you're doing, give yourself that time to reflect, and then exactly.
So we've got a couple of weeks left of Create TV, which I'm sad and excited in two ways, because I know it's gonna be reborn in different formats. But yeah, it's quite exhausting running something. I've been on the screen every day in the lockdown.
I was going to ask you how often you do it. Has it been every day?
Every day, yeah. So I mean, in a way, it's given me a structure which maybe I wouldn't have had. And I don't know, I taught in school for years and years and years. I'm very routine.
It's hard to get rid of that structure, isn't it?
Timetable and but I've decided I'm giving myself Thursdays off now. So I've just
congratulations.
What a luxury! Just because I need to be around with the kids a bit more. My husband's working, and so we're just sort of juggling it all. But if I'm not on a screen one day, that would be lovely. I could just stay in my pajamas.
And has it been interesting? I presume you weren't on a screen very much at all before Corona, and then it's almost become like a daily occurrence.
Yes,
has it been easy to shift into TV, Helen?
Yeah, I quite like it.
You're so natural. You're totally natural. So I can see that you're really good at it, and you're good. I can't believe that you've been doing it every day. I didn't know if it was like a Saturday club or something.
No, I do. So the kids I do 3 days a week, and the adults I do 3 days. They sort of overlap. So
yeah, sure.
It's been so busy, so busy. So so yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm sort of slightly refining things and cutting things out, and just starting to think how can I sustain this going forward, because now the world of drop-offs to school and nursery and things like that are coming back, and it's amazing how much time it takes out of your day. So
I'm really not looking forward to it. Like before lockdown, we were waking up at like 6:50 in the morning to get in on the bus, and it's like now we're like 8 a.m, you know, and she's becoming a teenager. It's really difficult to get her out of bed. And I'm like, how are we going to do this at 10 to 7? I've really loved just losing that bit of manicness of the morning. Have you got your shoes on? Have you got your book bag? It's quite stressful as a parent, isn't it? And I've only got one, and she's 12, so she's quite self-contained. I'm really not looking forward to that. Like
that's the part of it that's been nice, isn't it? Just taking the rush element out of everything and taking time, and you know, just reflecting a bit on it.
Yeah, totally. So I wanted to, you said that you've done some kind of money mindset stuff at the beginning. Like, can you share some tips and stuff with people watching? Because I know that that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, being able to ask for money, being able to charge what they're worth, not giving everything away for free. Like, have you got some kind of nuggets of wisdom to share with people?
I think it's just, you know, just about seeing your value really, and knowing that, you know, what you're doing is helping lots of people, and if you're making money from it, you can help more people. You're setting yourself up, you're being a role model to your children, you know, you're paying your taxes, you're contributing to society. And I think just knowing that you can charge your worth is, and then that's the thing, it's knowing what you're worth and knowing how you can justify, but you know, knowing that it's okay. And most people are very happy to pay if they can, you know, and if they can't pay, they won't do it. You're not making anyone do it. That's the thing. You're not making anyone join your course or do your...
that is totally the thing, isn't it? You put a price out there and you say this is how much it costs, but people will only buy it if they need it. It's not like you're force feeding people your product or your services or something, isn't it? It's like if you want it.
At the end of the day, you're helping people achieve something that they want to achieve, and that's what you're doing. So there's no problem in charging for it.
Thank you for that. So we've got like just a couple of minutes left. I'm going to see if there's, I don't know if there's question. It doesn't really work very well if there's questions.
There was a couple of things we touched on a couple of weeks ago. I won a prize through it.
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me of that. And that's your free, isn't it? That's your free. So there's like Derby and Nottingham suit that that Think run, that support people that work in arts and mental health with funding for projects, and you were one of the winners, weren't you?
I won a prize for some money to put on some, so basically Corona has made me realise that I can reach a whole different group of people who wouldn't necessarily want to come and do a studio based course. So I've been reaching people who generally just can't, some of them can't leave their houses, you know. I mean, we all can't leave our houses, but at the moment, or in the past few weeks, but these people generally can't leave because of anxiety or an illness, or an illness related to anxiety, or an anxiety relating to an illness. It's like these two prongs of debilitating, you know, issues that cause these people that they can't leave, they can't they can't sit. I mean, this might be a really stressful, most people find this really calming, but some people would find this really stressful, sitting in a room of people drawing.
Exactly.
So I realised over the last few weeks that actually I can help and reach a whole new group of people that can benefit from doing art at home. So I've launched a project which I applied for the funding through Dan Soup, and I was amazing that I won some money. So I'm going to put on in the next few months, I'm not sure how it's going to fit with stuff going on, but I'm going to definitely do it either late summer, early autumn, a project which it's called Create Together, and it's going to be aimed at people with anxiety who can't leave their houses, and I'm going to be doing a subsidised art course basically. So I'm going to charge a little bit because I think it means that people can like say invest,
isn't it?
invest that tiny, I mean like 10, 20 pounds, something like that. For a
Yeah.
course, it would cost a lot more. But I'm going to just put this on, you know, and help that other group of people. So this is what's come out of this whole awful situation. You've just always got to think of the positive stuff. You've always got to think of what you can do rather than what you can't do. I think
that's a really good point to leave on, isn't it? It's thinking about what you can do rather than you can't do, and that's the things that get you through. The focusing on the positive. You know, that's what got me through all sorts of trouble and strife. You know, in life is really focusing on those positive things. You know, even when I had cancer, just thinking, well, what can I learn from this? What can be good? How can I grow as a person? What can I take from it that's good? Because it can't all be bad. Because if you focus on the bad, then it just becomes really bad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it's great. I love what you've been doing. You're super inspiring. I love the way you're going for it, you know, and trying things out. I'm glad that you're giving yourself Thursdays off. That's super healthy, you know, to not be working all the time. And are you having a couple of weeks off? Are you giving yourself a break?
So the whole plan is to take the summer off with my girls. So
perfect.
Which is why I set this up in the first place. Kind of, you know, you've got to remember your goals. I think with the mindset thing, you've got to have a goal.
Yeah.
You know, have a plan. How are you going to get there? You know.
And this idea of what does success look like for you, not for other businesses or anybody else, but what does success look like for me, and how then I create a business and a life that gives me that, whatever my version of success is, which is maybe having a month off in the holidays and having every Thursday off, and, you know, doing whatever you want to do to help people. Thank you so much for giving up your time to talk to me and share your story with the people in the blue stockings. For those people watching, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I'm hoping to make it a regular thing, because we've got so many fabulous women in this group who can inspire each other with their business and life stories. Helen, do you want to go back into blue stockings at the end of this and then just write down any links to stuff that you're doing so people can come and follow you?
I'm on at the Lady Bay Festival tomorrow, so I've got it's all done online this year.
Oh, lovely.
So it's all online, so there's loads of amazing music and artists and crafts and food. If you're in the Lady Bay area, there's food going to be in the streets that you can buy. But I'm doing a little art section partway through.
Fantastic. So drop the link to that in as well. I'm sure people would like. And if you got the links to your watercolor group, is that ready? Yeah, drop that in Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. I think people want to come and check out what you're doing. So I'm going to end this now. I've never done this before, so I presume that we will stop going live on Facebook, and that will be it, and we'll have to just say goodbye. So I'm saying goodbye, Helen, and everybody who came. Thank you so much for your time, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bye.